Hey there, this is Jess from SpiritQuest. Just thought that I would share a nice little tool with you called the Wheel of Balance. This is something I like to use to help a person to achieve balance in their life. Sometimes it's hard to do that, and many times we're high functioning on certain levels while other levels or components get neglected of sorts. So what you can do is just make a circle. Go ahead and make a few different little pieces of pie in the circle and label each of these areas as I have: work/career, family, friends, home, money, purpose, or romance, like romantic relationship, physical health, emotional health. And hopefully all of these areas apply to you. And we're going to look at the middle as being 0, or having very little of, if not none of, or low functioning. And then the outer corner as being, a 10, being very, very full, or being very, very good at, happy with. And so let's go ahead and focus on each of these areas. The first area will be work or career. So really thinking about how your work feels to you. If it's really poor, you don't make much money, you feel not valued, heard, seen, loved, maybe you would rate it here. Okay, fill it in. If it's wonderful, you feel all of your needs are taken care of, you'd really come up to here. If you feel completely satisfied in your career and you never want to look for another job, you feel very, very secure, then, you'd fill the whole area in. Okay, I'm just going to use this as an example. So now family relations. Just as an example, we'll say that family relations are pretty good. I have a few siblings that I really get along with. However, my father passed away, and my mother is really not in my life. And so I would probably rate it about in the middle. I've got some family members that I can really rely on. I feel somewhat supported, about halfway. If I had a great, huge, abundant, wonderful family, I would fill in the whole area. If I really didn't have much of any family support and I felt kind of neglected, alone, left out, or my family was had all passed away, it would really be, very little or if none there. Okay, so friend life, we'll say that, looking at the area of friends, it's really just not about the number of friends. It's really about, the quality of friends. How many people do you have in your corner that are really rooting for your highest and greatest good? And that's hard to find sometimes. So, for example, I've got one really, really great friend that, that's it pretty much. I pretty much stay by myself. So, home life. Home life is really your security at home. Is it your personal home? Do you own it? Do you feel at ease at home? Do you live with a roommate that you feel comfortable with and at ease? Is it a place of serenity and bliss for you? Or is it a place where it's awkward, it's a lot of money, it's not yours, you have a landlord that's very demanding and it's very expensive, you've got neighbors that are really loud, it is not your ideal setting. I'm going to go ahead and say that I like my home, I put a lot of time and energy into my home, it's mine, so I own it and there's no chance of it going away. I've made a serenity room where I meditate, and there's no icky cords to any bad place or time. I've really cleansed it and cleared it, and I feel really peaceful in my home. Money can be about how much you have, how well you are at budgeting. Do you have enough? How is there an abundance there, or is there a lack of? Do Do you feel like you're really great when it comes to money? Do you budget well? Are you frugal? We'll go ahead and put here, because there's always room to grow when it comes to finances, right? We always want more. We could always use coaching around how to set budgets and really grow that area. Next is purpose or romance. Since I personally am not really into the romance or relationships that way, I like to look at my purpose. If you want to look at both of these, you could just make another area for your wheel of balance. So my sense of purpose, I would say this is your sense of understanding what your purpose is, as well as executing out your life's purpose. So do you feel like you understand what your mission is here on earth? And are you implementing and acting out your mission and your purpose? I really feel like I have. I feel like my purpose is to help people, but I haven't found a method to do that. So I know I want to help people. I know I have certain gifts. Usually you're born with certain gifts from Spirit. You discover what those gifts are. You use those gifts to help others. Let's say you're an incredible musician. You really understand music and you feel it. You can sing it. You understand and are moved and communicate via music. So you figured out what your gift is. But how do we integrate your gift back to, helping mankind? Because that's really what all of our purposes are about. So I will go ahead and put that, in that case, this scenario that I'm just making up, I'd put it right in the middle. Since I know what my purpose is, but I haven't figured out the means or the integration as of yet, the daily integration or merging my work into my purpose. So those are duly connected there, synergistic. Physical health. So this is, are you eating vibrant, bright foods? How do you feel when you first wake up in the morning? How do you feel after a long, stressful day? Do you take care of yourself? Do you stretch and do exercises? How is your teeth? Do you take care of your teeth and your eye health? Do you, really love and support and express your physical body, your physical self? So I eat a high vibrational diet, but, maybe I could really take a look at, maybe just sharpening that up a little bit more, maybe exercising a bit more, putting into more of a yoga plan. So I think I take care of myself, but I'd say it's about the same here. I do take care of myself, but I do feel like there's room to grow here. Okay. These are examples, and if you really didn't take care of yourself physically, you really don't feel well, you feel sick all of the time, you have a poor self-image, you have a poor body image, we would definitely put that down very low. Now, emotional health. So emotions are things that some people either express overtly, some people will stuff them and suppress them. So emotional wellness can be defined as emotional intelligence, being able to emote in such a way that it's healthy, it's not triggered, you're not overly emotional or under-emotional. You feel really stable and centered, peaceful and serene. You don't get triggered. You really see the world as a peaceful and serene place. And in your mind, it's a healthy atmosphere. The thoughts that you have, like the tape running in the background, is very loving, supportive. That would be healthy, emotional, or rational state, where the thoughts that you have are always seeing the best and brightest in everyone. Even in the face of adversity, you respond in a place of gratitude and seeing the best in everybody and everything, including yourself. So not having emotional health would be feeling anxiety, being in states of depression, isolating, really sticking and staying in your shadow side. For this exercise, I'm going to go ahead and say, yeah, I experience anxiety. I really don't sleep. I have a poor self-image, and I never really was taught to have self-respect and self-love because I do have some trauma and some core wounding that happened when I was little. I was abandoned. My inner child is really, really wounded. And so I'm going to put my emotional health down here because I really wasn't taught how to surrender, how to trust, how to love. Okay. So as we take a step back here, we can just see the wheel of balance. So my life is looking pretty out of balance here. We really want to get it to a point where all of our areas are pretty much the same. And then we can focus on a holistic measure to grow through all of these components. Right now, it looks like I'm putting a lot of emphasis on my physical body. More of an emphasis on my purpose, and then more of an emphasis on my home life, which somewhat tells me that, I spend a lot of time at home. That's where I feel safe. But right next here, you can see my emotional health is really needing some coaching. I would say the two areas we need to coach around today would be, of course, the emotional health and then the friends. So let's talk about some ways that we can become emotionally well. How can I get rid of my anxiety, my depression? First thing I would say we need to focus on a release. What way can we release the pent-up emotions and really help with inner child? I like to just make a focus over here and just put, emotional wellness. And so then we can list the emotions that we have. So I feel anger. I feel lost. I feel lonely. I feel ugly. I feel confused. I think listing out the emotions that you really feel is helpful. You can really start to see, I feel these ways. I feel lost, I feel ugly, I feel confused. So what's the opposite of some of these? The opposite of these emotions are peace, great self-esteem, self-love, self-acceptance, self-trust. Those are just a few. So instead of focusing on the negative emotions, which is really easy to do, it's easy to focus on the lack, not having enough, not being good enough, not being X, Y, and Z enough. So let's just move that all away and really focus on peace, self-esteem, self-love, self-acceptance, self-reliance, self-resonance, self-trust. So once we release the old, and I recommend like breath work, body work, inner child healing, even movement, doing yoga, getting out onto the earth and connecting with mama and just releasing, crying, laughing, just getting it out, cracking open and allowing another person especially to witness your healing, the catharsis. You deserve to be emotionally well and available. The more you're suppressing, the more you're going to attract people who are just as emotionally repressed or toxic, because many times we bond through the trauma. So, like attracts like. So it's really imperative that we clear out those skeletons, go to the core wounding head on and face it and say, all right, what are you going to teach me? I know I'm here for a divine purpose and plan, but what's this all about here? I keep having this situation or this pattern keeps arising, and what is this? So let's really focus on what we want. And I think all humans in the bottom, once we kind of really look at it all, the bottom line is peace. We like to love who we are and love others and love animals and love nature and really love who we are. But we all have blind spots. So it's great to have coaching around how growth can be had, how continued growth can be had. That's why an activity like this is so powerful to do consistently throughout your life. With a life coach especially is really good, because we can really give you realistic integration pieces of how you can properly emotionally heal, release, and then build a strong and beautiful future. So bringing peace, what makes you feel peaceful? Cultivate peace by doing what makes you feel peaceful. Is it meditating? Is it going for a walk? Is it saying, I love you? What makes your self-esteem feel good? Action. What action are you going to take to cultivate these? What makes me feel good about myself is when I give away something to somebody, when I donate my money and my time. Self-esteem is when I do what I say I'm going to do, and I look in the mirror and I know I'm an incredible person. I'm deserving because you can count on me. You can trust me. We're wanting to spend less of a focus on the physical, reflection. But yeah, look in the mirror and lock eyes with yourself and really ask yourself, what can I do to better support you? I'm in this body. I have this soul. What can I do to really liberate myself? Because I can heal myself, right? What can I do to cultivate love and to step away from the old paradigm, the old story, and bring more self-love into my life? What can I do to accept my past, my patterns, the silly me? Sometimes it's funny just to say, just to laugh and say, silly me. I'm just so silly. I can't believe I got triggered like that. I made a mistake, but you know what? I'm growing. That's what this wheel of balance is really all about, is growth. And that's what we will always do until the day that our physical body passes away. Nobody's made it. We constantly grow because we're humans. Trust. The only way you can start trusting yourself is if you are trustworthy. If you know that you cut corners and you keep things secret, you do things subpar, you don't show up 100%, your word is not good, you know that. More so than anybody else in the world. And so that's really important for you to establish trust. You've got to be trustworthy. Okay, so this was just a look at these different categories. I would help coach you through these different ways. We would do the same exercise for each of the categories. Next, we'd really take a look at work and career. What could we do to help this grow? Where you feel valued, seen, heard. You've got you're taken care of financially. All components of your needs, are being met. What can we do to repair family relations? What family members, what relationships are being taxed? And what can we do to remedy those relationships? Or make it to where you can be more at peace and serenity with your side of the street. We can't change other people, so what can we do to really feel good about who we are in regards to our family? Friends is another category I'd really focus on if this was my client, to bring this up here. Friends are important. Good, healthy friends. Letting people in, letting people see you. Building strong, tribal members that will, support your highest and greatest good. Not friends that want to divert you away from your spiritual path, but friends who really want to bring you to your higher self. They demand a lot out of themselves, thus they will demand a lot out of you, because they hold you accountable to want to keep you rising, keep you doing things that will continue your personal growth. That's one way that you can really tell if you have good supportive friends, is if they support your highest and greatest good and they don't expect anything from you in return other than love. money, of course, life coaches are all about, setting budgets and time management and all those great things. There's all sorts of different things that you can do to really have more balance and create more financial freedom in your life. It's really about shifting the paradigm of lack to abundance. On the contrary, instead of like holding all of it in, you just really release and you give, and you plant seeds, these little seeds of giving to other people, not holding back, tipping really well. The universe loves that, and the universe really will respond in a way that if you're living in integrity and doing things for the right reason and making smart, ethical, wise choices, you will be rewarded. So, all right, this is just, a fast little glance. I'm going to continue to do different wheels so that you guys can take a look. If you want me to go ahead and do a wheel for you, I'm happy to do that and give you recommendations on how to grow. And, yeah, stay tuned. And any, if you want me to reach out and you want different videos, just please feel free to comment below. All right, you guys, I hope you're having a bright and blessed day, and I really appreciate your patience and concentration to this video. Namaste.